Hi, my name is Mark Evans. I'm here sitting today with the co-founder of ERC Specialist, Josh Zieglowsky. I'm an entrepreneur and business owner just like you, and I have a lot of questions as well as about the ERC, and we're here with the man, the myth, the legend, Josh. Welcome, Josh. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Definitely. So I'm excited to be here with you. There's a lot of people talking about ERC. Is it a scam? Is it fake? Is it real? Do I qualify? Do I not qualify? And we're going to cover all that today, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, cool. So can you explain to business owners watching this, what exactly is the ERC?
So I get to know about the history. What's funny is when PPP started, everyone knew PPP because it was a frenzy, and actually you had a choice. Do you get PPP or do you get ERC? But you could only do one or the other. PPP was so easy because ERC is tax credit related that people would go to their banks and banks brokered it. They actually made a commission if they got a business owner, let's say $300,000 of PPP money for their employees. Now, it was a loan. PPP was a loan that was forgiven later. And then they did a second round of PPP. So that was under what they call the CARES Act. So ERC started the exact same time, but you can get one or the other. Then fast forward to March of 21, where the American Rescue Plan Act under the CARES Act said, hey, if you got PPP, we'll allow you to get ERC now. And that's when a lot of people was like, oh, what is this new program? And being that it's a tax side of things under the IRS, the Treasury Department, people, hey, I guess I call my tax guy. That's what I did. And 95% of CPAs, enrolled agents, tax pros, they don't do your 941s. They do your 1040s and your 1120s. So then you go to a payroll department or a payroll company that does payroll. They don't amend your 941s. They just do your active payroll. So it was this weird gray area. But that's a quick history on where ERC started to kind of where it is today.
Yeah. And the truth is ERC Specialist came out of your frustration, right? Because you couldn't, everyone you were talking to, they're like, no, we don't do that. No, we can't do that, et cetera, right?
Yeah. So I'm a serial entrepreneur, like you mentioned yourself. My main thing, my trunk of my tree is commercial real estate, but I have other businesses. And one business I had, was in the oil business. I'm in Utah, so our oil business was in Wyoming, and I was trying to find extra stimulus. We got PPP number 1, number 2. We get a state of Wyoming grant that was forgiven. And so I was trying to find an extra stimulus just to combat that business because in 2020, price per barrel was negative $30 a barrel one day. So we were suffering, and our employees, luckily, they were getting paid, but there was no money coming in the business, right? So we were trying to find extra stimulus. A friend of mine told me about this. I looked into it. I called my CPA, which is a pretty well-known CPA, and then I called my payroll departments. I had 2 different ones in 2 different companies. Both of them told me, and these are major companies, national companies that said, hey, sorry, we don't amend. We just do your active payroll. So you might have to find a third-party service to help you. Well, I looked online and I was just like, man, there's only a couple. And, maybe I can kind of take the mentality of who, not how, that book, right?
Yep.
Finding the right who's to make a business out of it and helping the business owner. So we ended up doing that in end of April of 21.
That's awesome. So the process though, so if someone's sitting here, they're a business owner, how do they qualify? What's the qualifications even look like? Because a lot of people, there's a lot of misinformation on what qualifies and doesn't.
Yeah, and I think it kind of goes along with the ERC history. So when it first started, so this is very important because a lot of people say, oh, I don't qualify because I didn't lose money. That's how it was at the very beginning. It was, you had to, there's a number up to $26,000 per W-2 employee. PPP was a loan that was forgiven later. This is forgiven when they get it, and they can use it for whatever they want. Whereas PPP, they had to use it for expenses, stuff like that. But it started by, did you have a shutdown in your business in 2020? Then in 21, did you have 500 employees or less? And then if the answer was yes, then did you have a 20% revenue loss from your 19 to your 21 quarters? That's how we actually started the business. And people that got PPP number 2, you had to have a 25% loss. So we were kind of just going over the people and helping the people that had those losses, right? Well, in about November of 21, it's either November or December, administration, came out and said, hey, we want to make this easier for the business owner. Let's change up those questions. Let's make it 500 employees or less. If the answer is yes, then did they have a 20% revenue loss, or did they have a supply chain disruption to their business, or did they have a government mandate shutdown based on supplies coming in? So there's those questions changed, and that's why even Forbes did an article a few months ago and says 70-80% of business owners actually qualify for this based on the new questions.
Yeah.
You know,
That's huge. So the PPP, how much was allocated for the PPP?
$500 billion.
$500 billion.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're seeing inside the ERC side is how much you see the allocation.
So they haven't put a number, but they use the word earmark. They estimate based on the businesses that would qualify, about $400 billion will go out for this.
Yeah. So about $400 billion. And like Josh said, there's about 70 to 80% of businesses watching this qualify, and they don't even know it.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is, what we've seen a lot is you learn about this, then you go talk to your CPA or accountant, right? And they're like, no, you don't qualify. And that's it.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. You know, keep in mind, this is a specialty product.
Yeah.
Right? You don't go to your general doctor and say, hey, I need heart surgery.
Right.
You're going to a specialist.
No, it's very true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys, this is what you specialize in. How long, like, what's the process? So they're watching this video. They take the next step. It's free. It doesn't cost anything to see where you're at on the process. You go on, click on the link. You go through the questionnaire. What's the process look like to the viewer?
Yeah, well, first, talking to their tax pro or their CPA or the EA, I always say, don't get mad at your CPA, EA, tax pro for not knowing this, because this is a very specialty product. And I'm like, there's been plenty of times we've been on the phone with a CPA or someone's tax professional, and they just thought or assumed that 20% loss was the only qualification. They didn't know about this new qualification back at the end of 21. But as far as the process goes, the way we've made it is a very simple process. Number one, we don't take a credit card. We don't charge anything up front. We only charge a percentage when they get the money on the back. But we've made it so someone takes 5 or 10 minutes. They go on the website. They put in their information as far as their business. And then we'll kick back and say, okay, we need you to upload a certain amount of documents, your 941 quarterlies for those 6 quarters, your PPP information, if you got it or not, and then your payroll report. And there's a certain time frame that we say. We can even link it into their payroll company if they use ADP or Paychex or Gusto, or if they want to manually upload it, they can as well. So we've made it very simple for them. And then it takes us about 2-3 weeks once they upload it to come back to them and say, okay, you're approved for, let's say, $323,014. Do you want us to continue? Do you want us to file for this? And do you want to agree to our fee?
Yep. Yeah, and what I've seen is the speed and the timing. So once they say, let's say they say, yes, I'm ready to go. They upload the information. They sign off. Everything's good to go. What are you seeing the timelines with the IRS to get them their money to them in their pocket?
It's funny. The IRS is a fun, piece to this. We tell everyone 6 to 8 months.
Yep.
Now, out of 10 files that we'll submit to the IRS, all of a sudden one of them comes back in 3 to 4 months. It's not like stacked up when they're just taking stuff from the bottom. It's like, oh, let's just take something here. Oh, let's send this out. But I do tell people 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
Because you and I have always talked about, if you give that expectation, then if it comes in 4 months, we're even better than that. But 6 to 8 months is definitely the time frame that they should wait. And that's why we made it so we don't charge up front. We charge it when you get the money, because we'll take care of all the filing stuff, and then we'll get paid when you get paid.
Yeah, it's a very complex specialty product. Like
Yeah.
you said, I think one thing I've seen, because we've worked with a lot of the entrepreneurs on that side, is they're like, well, this is what my account, and they almost take it for like what it's worth, and that's it, and they just move on.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but listen, you're leaving, $100, $200, $300 or more $1,000 on the table, because you're not like digging into this a little deeper. So it's okay to listen to them, but not, hear them, but maybe not necessarily, do exactly what they say. Just, hey, let me just check,
Yeah.
Like I said, it costs you nothing to check.
Yeah.
And you're not pulling any personal information. It's just asking questions to see approximately what they qualify for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And instantly they'll see kind of a parameter of their qualifications. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you said, we've made it as simple as possible. Instead of doing it manually, we try to make it so it's very systematized for them, make it very user friendly. And then, like you said, at the very end, they see a number and they're like, wow, we call it newfound money.
Yeah.
Because we don't like to use the word free, but it is newfound money to their business. And I mean, I can go over story after story of how this has impacted different businesses. The best ones are literally under 20 employees, where, hey, oh man, I was taking savings from I have 2 employees or 3 employees. I was taking savings, and giving it to my employees because I wanted to make sure they stayed around. They stayed around. Now I got $29,000, and oh my gosh, that was a huge impact to my business.
Absolutely. So on your side, when people are getting this, keep in mind too, like the IRS is in control. Once it's out of your hands, it's the IRS. So like if it's our timeline gap, it's not you guys holding it up. And it's very important you guys understand, no one gets paid. No one gets any money until the money is received, right? And that's something to know. Like everyone wants it to happen quicker.
Yeah.
Why do you think why do you think people get scared of this? Because the number one reason we always see is like, well, I'm going to get audited.
Yeah.
Right. That's always the biggie. No one wants to get audited, right?
Yeah.
But I think about like, well, why do you think they hired 87,000 IRS people, right? I think all small businesses are going to get audited. That's my opinion. But what's your thoughts on this? If they, take this money from the ERC side, are they getting audited? Is that a real fear? Or is it just something
It's a fear that people bring up for sure. And I think it's valid. I mean, being a business owner, since it's valid, right? There's a couple of things that to that. Number one, the 87,000 is over I think a 10, 12 year period. And this is past legislation. This is something that they've wanted to get out. Now, the part that people get afraid of because they hear the word audit, it's used very loosely. Number one, your audit is from your income taxes, not from your payroll side of things. The one thing that we do is we match things up. In other words, these are quarterly returns you filed in 2020, 2021. In PPP, there was a lot of opportunity for fraud because you could just answer 3 or 4 questions about your business, and all of a sudden they're sending you're going to the bank getting money. We have to match what you had before and make sure we can substantiate what your claim is. Once we're able to do that, we send it off. Do we send everything off? Absolutely not. I mean, we even have files that we send to the FBI just because we want to stay ahead of the legality side of it, so our customers don't even see or are considered for an audit. Now, let's say, and maybe we're talking to business owners right now that have been audited. When you are audited, you are hiring a tax attorney. Your CPA gives you supplied documents to your tax attorney to help defend you, right? We are going to supply those documents if that was ever a case. But on this, I've talked to several tax attorneys. It is a very, very low chance because we're matching things up.
The truth is, like you said earlier, like with PPP, they only had to answer a couple questions.
Yeah.
It was very Wild West. It was very fast, right? It was a frenzy.
It was.
And this is actually a structure. Yeah, and you've already paid into it. This is not like money like the government's just handing you. This is something you've paid. It's a credit back to you as the business owner, right?
Yeah.
So think about that. It's not like, because I see some people like, oh yeah, there's the government again giving free money out to people. Like, it's not just money coming into the company. The company is going to actually employ more people, buy more product and services, invest in the community. Like, it's a good thing. It's a stimulation package for companies to make the country better.
It is a stimulation package, and it's like what I always say, it's how you spin it. Has it crossed my mind from hearing other business owners like, oh, the government giving out more money to just business owners, now we got to pay for it? I hear that, but then I hear the stories of that lady that has 2-3 employees. I've heard stories from another pizza joint here locally in Utah that wanted to expand their business. They are receiving their monies now, and they're going to add 1 or 2 locations. That adds 40 new jobs.
It's huge.
So it's really how you spin it, right? Yeah. And could you use this for your business to help pay for better equipment or equipment that would help you gain more jobs or more income for your business? That's the point of it.
It is, and it's not like a consumer, right? You're not giving it to just people on the street that are just consumers going to buy the new iPhone. These are, like you said, it's business owners that are going to bring production to the community and increase taxes. Everyone's going to win with this kind of investment. On your side too, Josh, what's neat to hear as well is like you guys have a lot of CPAs and big companies use you guys as this arm of their business, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not like it's just like business owners only. Like there's CPA firms that are coming to you guys and saying, hey, you're a specialty at this. Can you handle for us?
Yeah, CPAs, enrolled agents, payroll companies, banks, like federally FDI insured banks that did like 70, 80,000 PPP loans. Wow. They could easily go get a division of 40, 50, 60 people and take time to figure this out. I mean, but they've seen what we've done and they said, man, we'd just rather just work with you guys and send you our client list to, help as many clients as, and there's even some banks that's like, hey, we actually are going to create a division so we can call our business owners to help give them that extra value because we didn't know about this.
Yeah. No, I mean, so this is huge. How much have you guys, ERC specialists in particular, given to local business owners across the country, as well as how many business owners approximately?
So as to date, what are we, September 29th or 28th? We surpassed 4 billion. Yep. The biggest number we're always striving for is the most companies, though. 22,000 companies that we just surpassed. And I say that because I have seen other ERC companies that's like, hey, we're not working with anyone unless they have a minimum of 10. We want to work with anyone that's from that 1 employee to 500. Yep. Any type of, place that they are. If they have 200 employees, they have 2 employees, we want to make sure we help as many employees as we can, or as many business owners as we can.
Yeah. And the only way to find out if you can work with them is if they fill out the form, go through the process, see if you even qualify. 70-80% of people watching this do qualify. And I think to take note too, it's like private schools. You guys have lots of private schools have received a lot of money. Churches, like nonprofits. Yeah. So lots of cool things as long as you haven't taken other government monies, right?
Yeah.
To qualify.
And the thing is even if someone's taking government money, I always tell people don't pre-qualify yourself. Because they might think, well, I took PPP money. That's government money. But I always say, don't pre-qualify yourself, put your stuff in, and then let us tell you like whether you qualify or not. In reality, it might take you 30 minutes of your time for us to tell you like, sorry, you don't qualify. Yeah. Take that 30 minutes. The other side is if you take that 30 minutes and you do qualify, it's a lot of newfound money. I mean, it's up to $26,000 per W-2. You got 10 employees, that's up to $260,000 there.
It's a lot of money. We've seen clients get millions.
Yeah.
So depending on the size of the organization you've built, right? And so on your side, like CPAs and these companies are using you. They're using you because you're a specialty, right? I just want to be clear, like they understand, because that was my first thing when we first started talking about this in December. We were wondering like, why in the world is my CPA or bookkeeper or accountant not telling us? And the truth is as they're business owners too. Right, they actually have used you for their companies. Yeah. Right, I've seen a lot of that come through, but the reason is because it's a product, it's a specialty product, and picture they have 100 companies they work for with 10 employees on average. That's 1,000 employees they'd have to file for. Yeah, it's a lot.
It does take about 2 to 4 hours per employee. That's why we've had a lot of CPAs that have done it for maybe 2-3 clients, but they have 250 clients. And they're like, oh my gosh, that took me almost a week. Yeah. But the other part is like, I appreciate this question from a big federal bank about 3 weeks ago. It was a gal, and she says, can someone just do this on their own? And I sat there, I'm like, absolutely. I mean, and I'll answer it by saying, if you're in a lawsuit, you can defend yourself, You certainly can. Yep. Is your chances of having an attorney defending you up your chances of winning that lawsuit or, settling or whatever it is? Absolutely. That's the difference here is if someone, wants to go do it themselves, they can. I mean, there's 250 plus pages on the IRS website to go through it. If you're learning about this now and thinking like, oh, I don't want to pay because we charge 15% of whatever the fee is. I don't want to pay their 15%. Now you want to go be a professional. I just think you're not going to get as much money as you think.
Well, and what if you do it wrong? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of variables to this, right. and then it gets kicked down the road, and then by the time you actually figure it out, you apply and the money's gone. It's dried up. It's moved on.
Right.
And that will happen. There's people out here that want to do it themselves, and that's kind of part of the game. But I think you guys need to realize that. Not only that too, Josh, are you able to share kind of like who's on the board with ERC and kind of like this isn't like you just woke up one day and had an idea. There's like a lot of high quality people on the board here.
Yeah, so what we decided to make a board about 2 months ago. We're very specific on what we wanted to do. We're grateful to start with our state attorney general, Sean Reyes. He's on our board, and he's obviously someone that's well known in Utah and in a lot of other states. But He also introduced us to a couple people to interview. One is the former U.S. Attorney General, Matt Whitaker. He's on our board as well. Very excited about that. A guy named James Clark. A lot of people will know him here in Utah. I don't even know where he ranks as far as like level of income or whatnot, but he sold a company called ClearLink. He has a company called Clark Capital now. Very good business minded. But the purpose of the AGs, the attorney generals at first, was we want to make sure we're absolutely ahead of this, because we don't want anything to come back, on our clients, on us. And so we want to make sure we're well ahead, that we can contact someone at the Treasury Department. And these guys are well connected with someone like that, in case anything happens. Like I was mentioning on transferring files to the FBI. I mean, now we have that relationship with them where we see something else, we'll send it to them, and then if they hear something, that's chirping about ERC or even ERC specialists, that they're calling us and like, hey, we just want to keep that open relationship. And they told us we want to keep that open relationship. And that was the purpose why we started a board. There's going to be 3 more we're going to add. We're in communication with a couple of them right now.
Nice.
Well, here in the next 30 days, we'll probably be able to announce those.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what's exciting about this. This is evolving, and you guys are staying massively proactive. There's some companies out there, they're just churning and burning, and it is, it scares us, as real professionals in this industry. So if they're watching and they get over, whoever invited you to this video, make sure to connect with them and go through the form, the document.
Yeah.
It's very simple. Like, you're not gathering any social security numbers, no credit card information, nothing like that. Simply just put in your data and that they ask, and it's very simple. Just Q&A, and you answer it, and then at the end it's going to tell you, hey, this is kind of where you're at. If you want to upload the documents and continue, this is the next step. And there's teams there too to help. I mean, there's a lot of people you can call out, reach out to you, connect you, help you on the documents, because some people get caught up on documents and all that stuff, right?
Kind of like what you said about getting with the person that connected you with it is, yeah, we've made it so like a regular person go on there and go put their questionnaire, but it is recommended to get with the person that introduced you, because he or she is someone that we've trained on getting the right documents and helping you make it so it's very seamless for you, that it's a 2 to 3 week process, and then we're off and filing for you. So I definitely encourage anyone that's watching this, is if someone gave you this video, get with that person and just kind of walk through it. And believe me, they'll be more than happy to spend 30 minutes to an hour with you to go through it, because it benefits everybody.
Yeah, we all win. And I think at the end of the day, just get back and take action. This is limited.
Yeah.
This will go away. The sooner you do it, the faster you get the funds. I know when this started becoming a thing, when we discovered it in November, actually August, you told me about it, but then in December, what happened is now we're 8 months deep. You had already had your money. You'd already be investing in the things you're going to do. Just think about it as a business owner. You sit there and you go through these steps for free, and you find out you're getting $250,000 back. Like, what does that do to you? It gives you hope. It gives you confidence. It gives you, it gets you excited for the future. Because as real entrepreneurs, as we all are in this room, we understand you're getting kicked in the teeth sometimes. We understand it's not always easy. The average person out there, like, oh, you're just a big bad business owner, has all this money. It's like, we've given everything in our life to make this business work.
Yeah.
All of our businesses, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But this is the best opportunity I've ever seen for an entrepreneur, business owner, to gain access to money that they've paid back in, right?
Oh, I've talked to so many business owners that in 21 they paid their employees before their mortgage.
Yep.
And that's very commendable, right? Because they're thinking about their families even before their own, and they're willing to go through a little bit of heart, some pain in order to make that happen. And so, like you said, spending that little bit of time, and it is going away. And when you and I talked, it was a 4 to 6 month wait. Now it's 6 to 8 months. So the longer someone takes, it might be a 12-month wait.
Yep.
Wait. So might as well put your name in line and get your stuff done. But yeah, I mean, the whole point of it is to re-stimulate the economy, to re-stimulate your business, and for the amount of time it takes, and knowing that 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 businesses qualify for it based on the new questionnaire and regulation. Yeah, why not?
It's now. So guys, go ahead and click the link below or contact the person that hooked you up with this video. The truth is, tell them thank you, because they care about your success and where you're at. They want to help the local business owner just like yourself. Take action, and We'll see you on the other side. Have a great day. Thank you, Josh.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Thank you.